Path of Exile is adding a new expansion that looks so good it might keep you at home on Halloween. Also, we dug out some of the darkest and most ambitious upcoming multiplayer games announced just this week, plus updates coming to the games you already know and love. The free expansion Keepers of the Flame is crawling to Path of Exile 1, just in time for spooky season. It's adding new hive-based encounters, where breach lords try to invade Rayclass. Getting near those hives lets them hatch, pulling players into a breach and swarming them with its brood. Yikes! Naturally, as one of the Keepers of the Flame, you have to purge them. With fire, hopefully. So it's a completely normal day in Australia. But those breaches are just the beginning, as you will face even bigger encounters like rifts and the breach lords themselves, residing in towering flesh cities, because flesh is definitely the theme here. This mode is available across all difficulties, with a new progression system called the Genesis Tree, a passive system granting currency, uniques, and crafts. Those crafts are fleshy implants that provide passives and skills, and can be swapped or upgraded. And to give you even more tools to exterminate pests, the update adds 10 so-called bloodline ascendancies, new hybrid classes that you can combine with your primary ascendancy. Trading has found its way from Path of Exile 2 to its predecessor as well, as you can now use the Merchants tab to trade items once you reach Act 6. On the quality of life front, we get automatic item identify, respecking for just a small gold sum, and improved controller support. And that's obviously just scratching the surface. The update will also bring new Tier 17 maps, Uber Pinnacle bosses, dozens of free skills and supports, and 40 free challenges when it launches for free on October 31st. While some games are about to release their Halloween-themed events, Studio Ellipsis used the eerie time of the year to announce their new horror game, Nightholme. Smart move. The studio behind the game employs several industry veterans coming from Ubisoft, Avalanche, and Bungie, and was founded by former Assassin's Creed director Alexandre Amancio. The game is a PvPvE horror extraction game, set in a corrupted urban open world where encounters and conditions evolve constantly. Its main idea is to create multiplayer tension without relying on formulaic tropes. Something built on consequence and unease rather than spectacle. Players become grim runners to scavenge a city consumed by the gloom, a force that mutates streets, structures, and life itself. Every venture into its depths rewrites the map, replacing routes with ruins and known enemies with newer horrors. This gives you as the player an ever-evolving hunt, where curiosity is as dangerous as fear. The tone leans into stylized brutality instead of gore, drawing from cosmic myth and classic horror design. At its core lies the transformation system, a gamble where you drink the Nocturne potion to define your archetype. Each form changes abilities, strengths, and tactics, creating creative co-op synergies between the players. Victorious extractions are new permanent upgrades that survive beyond a single run. The matches unfold as 3-layered hunts, where rival teams pursue the same Nightwalker bosses in a living, hostile environment. The city itself acts as a third opponent, as shifting weather, light, and terrain sabotage your play. Nightholme is planned for release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC. You can sign up for a closed beta coming later on. Although Halloween is probably only celebrated on Earth, the most eerie place in existence would probably be space. A perfect match for No Man's Sky's latest update titled Breach. Players can take part in a new expedition that leads them to an abandoned universe to uncover the tragic fate of the lost fireship Arcadia Corvette. The update brings zero-gravity scavenging of shipwrecks, because nothing says romance like a co-op spacewalk around the steel carcass to get those valuable scraps into your spaceship cargo. The patch also adds tons of new ship modules for Corvette-class builds, a bigger type of spaceships that they added recently. We built one of those and it really changed the gameplay for the better. It completely swaps your usual lonely space travel for a slightly glitchier multiplayer version. Perfection! Now we just have to find a way to tie Nox down, so he doesn't get lost in space again. The update also brings some quality of life changes, like more visible nameplates in co-op and smoother collisions. What are you guys doing with your vessels? But as always, this is a free update across all platforms, so if you want some eerie fun in space, check it out. Can I get a mandatory yeehaw at this point? A mandatory yeehaw at this point for Far Far West, a co-op cowboy shooter that was just announced and is planned for 2026. And watching the trailer, I mean, they had me hooked with those robotic horses. But as I said, this is an FPS, not a horseback riding simulator. Still, you need those to explore the deserts and canyons and fight your bounty targets with up to 3 more friends in co-op, as you are playing robot bounty hunters, who not only wield different guns, but can also master some magical spells. It looks fast-paced, chaotic, and there will be ghost trains. What more do I need to say? The spooky atmosphere and the skeleton enemies kinda reminded us of Sea of Thieves, in the best way possible. This is being developed by Evil Raptor, a studio that has done Pumpkin Jack and Akimbo before. So they know what they are doing, both in terms of FPS action and spooky atmosphere. You can apply for the playtest on Steam, which is open and live now. Oh, and let me just take a second to say how happy we were to see a Wild West themed co-op game for once. Another genre that both of us love is post-apocalyptic scenarios. Though the newly announced PAX was also right up our Fallout-loving alley. And that came as a surprise because we're normally not too big into simulation games. Because, you know, when coming home from work, the last thing we want to do is more simulated work. But we might make an exception here. PAX stands for Post-Apocalypse Courier Service. So you grab up to 3 more friends, pack your delivery truck with goods and head out into a wondrous world of polluted air, extreme weather and challenging terrain to help out the last survivors of humanity. As the parcels can be radioactive or even explosive, you better prepare your truck well in advance. Which looks like it'll work well, as those are fully customizable down to the wheels. Exploration is also part of PAX, and so is scavenging the ruins of civilization for food, water, and parts to upgrade your vehicle. And if you manage to deliver your packages safely in the end, you'll get paid, because seemingly you're still paying car insurance and rent. If you want to try PAX out, you can sign up now for a playtest on their website, link in the description box. Another brand new announcement of this week is DEFECT. And this is yet another shift in atmosphere, as now we're getting into a dark and dangerous cyberpunk world. DEFECT is an upcoming squad-based shooter and the first project by indie studio Empty Vessel. But if you have a déjà vu in terms of art direction, no wonder, as the developers had previously worked on franchises such as Doom, Call of Duty and The Last of Us. In DEFECT, you first choose one of 3 factions: police officers, outlaws, or those caught in between. Something that we like is that the game then leaves you a choice if you want to play PvE only co-op or 4v4 PvP matches. You can even go solo. Based on your choice of faction, there will be multiple different missions, like smuggling guns, bounty hunting targets, or arresting suspects. This is doubling down on the crime and law aspects of games like Cyberpunk 2077, but adding another layer of immersion. And adding to that immersion, the game will not have a player HUD either, and the environment is fully destructible by guns and gadgets. There is no release window yet, but if you love darker, immersive co-op or PvP shooters, this definitely looks worth keeping an eye on. Right on time for Halloween, the Dreamspell Festival launched in Monster Hunter Wilds, bringing not only spooky decorations to the hub, but also new time-limited bounties, arc-tempered new Udra, mini-games, and everyone's favorite thing, new meals and meal animations. And if your endgame is playing Fashion Hunters, you also get a good balance between free and paid cosmetics, including a super cute Autumn Witch outfit for our dearest handler, Alma. Marvel Rivals is getting spooky too, with zombie mode starting October 23rd or 24th thanks to time zones. Team up with a zombie-infested Midtown map playing heroes with undead slaying tweaks. Survive wave after wave, upgrade your loadout and take on bosses like the Scarlet Witch. And as always, exclusive Halloween-themed event skins will be available too. Crosswind just released a new trailer showcasing everything they have worked on since the alpha test. The setting shifted quite a lot from lonely islands to eerie pirate towns. It also looks like bigger ships will be available with up to 3 masts and a massive crew of deckhands, which, by the way, are smarter now and follow proper day-night routines. Immersive. There are also new enemy types, which give off strong Davy Jones vibes. And although they also showcased cool new weapon types like the mid-range halberd, the real impressive part was the estate building. We first thought that these were pre-made structures, but no, apparently you can craft huge mansions now, which is truly impressive. Enshrouded's Wake of the Water update was pushed back to mid-November, because apparently, although being tasteless, water takes its sweet time to implement. Aside from fluid voxels, the update is going to bring a huge weapon overhaul. This lets weapons feel more diverse by actually sticking to what's written on the label, meaning frost daggers, for example, now actually deal frost damage. Innovative! On top, you can now also craft way more gear, evening out bad luck while looting chests, including legendaries. And talking of chests, those won't be refilling on Reconnect anymore, but now take their sweet time as well. Godbreakers launched this week on Steam and PS5 with the surprise edition of GeForce Now. The devs also stated that this release is only the beginning, as future updates will expand and refine the game based on community feedback, which is great, as we would love even more content to slice through. We had tons of fun playing it, and if you want to get a closer look at what to expect, check out our full review video. If you're running a successful franchise but feel like you haven't gotten your fair share of Nintendo lawsuits yet, fear not, just repeat after what Once Human does in their latest update called Deviation, Survive, Capture, Preserve, which is essentially you and your friends catching those little creatures, building teams, evolving them, and then have arena battles against players or NPCs. This sounds familiar, but also like a lot of fun, and a great way to make deviations, the little friendly monsters, more relevant in the game. It's going live on October 30th. But that's all for this week. We hope you discovered something new or old to enjoy with friends and family, and we'll see you again in the next one.